if you're under 18, there's like a 90% chance that you should take a gap year. I took a gap year and it was probably the best decision that I've ever made in my entire life. I can say 100% that taking a gap year has probably made me who I am right now. If I didn't take a gap year, I don't think I would be where I'm at right now in terms of where my channel is, in terms of where my trading is, in terms of where my like tuition business is. I don't think it would be where it is right now. It's kind of been the catalyst to get everything going. And before this, I was just studying my ass off. I come from like an Asian background, right? Pakistani, Indian, Middle Eastern. I'm like a mix of all three, right? But like primarily Pakistani, right? And there's like a very big emphasis. There's like a very big emphasis to go to university, right? But I was like, no, I don't want to go yet. I worked my ass off. I got three A stars and a B in my A levels. So for you guys in the UK, I did maths, further maths, physics, and economics. I got three A stars, got an A star in maths, further maths, and economics, and I got a B in physics. I got a good place at a decent uni. I was like, alright, I could go university now, but what if I don't? Because I knew from the start, I knew from around about 16, right, that I was like, you know what? I want to make my income online. I don't want to have a job, right? I knew that from 16. And I think that was a bit of a bold statement to make, considering that I never had a proper job. So I ended up getting a full-time job, like in Amsterdam for a bit, for about a month, and I experienced that. And after a month, I could tell you, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this the rest of my life. I think it was good though that I got that experience, right? I think it was good that I got that experience just to see what it's like. And I pretty much realised that, you know what, I don't want a job for the rest of my life. I already don't. And I was already making money online. So in terms of like my income, right? Taking a gap year to help to accelerate it. So I'll tell you guys how I'm making my money right now. I'm 18. I'll tell you guys how I'm making my money right now. So primarily it's my tuition business that I started when I was 16. So when I was 16, I started tutoring people online. No, sorry, I started tutoring people in person, right? I basically asked my maths teacher at school, is there anyone in the year below that needs help, right? And after about 2 weeks of waiting, I actually got someone. So I started going to their house after school every single week. And I would teach for like 2 hours and I would get 40 quid. I was like, alright, that's decent, right? And I did that for about 2 months. COVID came. I was like, okay, right, I'm going to move online. So I moved it all online. I started it as like a brand, right? And then I started teaching. I started doing like marketing on my own brand. And then it eventually scaled up to around about 8, 9 clients a week. So I was teaching about 9 hours a week and pulling in about £300 a week, £200 a week, right? Which online is pretty decent. I was really happy with that, right? I was like 16. I was like, yo, that's actually decent for like 9 hours of work a week. I'll take it, you know? Like obviously I'm not making like silly money, but it's a start. You know, I was making nothing before. So it was definitely a decent start for me. But I wasn't one of those kids who's like 16 making like 10 grand a week or some bullshit. Like I wasn't one of those, alright, who started like a social media marketing agency. Like I didn't really think like that yet. I wasn't that ahead of the game. I was only a little bit, right? But anyway, I was making about like £1,000 a month roughly, right? When I was about 16, 17. And I kind of maintained for about a couple months. Then I started outsourcing tutors, so I would employ like my friends. I'd be like, okay, you can teach. I'll give you this person to teach. I'll pay you £15 an hour, and I'll get £10 an hour, right, for every hour you teach. So they'll teach one person every week for a month. That'll be an extra £40, and that's passive income now. Now I'm making passive income, right, at 17, which I'm like, yo, that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty sick. And taking a gap year just helped me scale it up a bit more. So for example, like I've got like a maths tutor right now, and he teaches like 6 hours a week. So I get like an extra, £60 a week basically for doing nothing. Right? Literally, I do nothing. It truly is passive because I give him the client, and he deals with the problems. If there is a problem, he tells me, but there usually isn't. So I just let him do that, and then the client pays me, and then I pay him. And by sticking with me, he can get more people, he makes more money, I make more money, and then I start outsourcing to other subjects. Now I've got an English teacher now as well. He gets paid, I get a cut, right? Same thing. And having a gap year just helped me scale it up a little bit more, give me that freedom to like manage all the money, make sure it's all working, and that's been pretty good because that's been like a pretty stable, like 1.5k, like 2k a month. Um, you know, it's quite stable. I don't have to really do much, and it kind of maintains. I just teach for whatever, like 9 hours a week, and then I pay people I employ, and that's it. And that's kind of like my main income right now. Then I do some day trading and stuff. That's slowly improving. Like I'm actually starting to make like consistent profits with that now. But it's not at a point where I can live off of it. It's not at that level yet, but it is getting there. And then I've also got like Skillshare. Skillshare started to pay me because I've got my courses on Skillshare. I'll leave a link in the description. I've got one course on becoming more sociable, another one on on creating original content, right? Not just like copying and pasting other channels. You want to kind of make because by copying and pasting other channels, you kind of end up being a shadow of the bigger channel, kind of like creating your own loyal kind of fan base, and then you can use that to sell. That's what I've been doing, right? And it is working. Like I am making money from it now. And then like a bit of affiliate marketing, people buying my links in the description. That's making a little bit. And yeah, taking a gap year is giving me time to get all those things into place, so that when I do go to university, I've got it already, and I can just keep growing it. Because starting something is a lot harder than continuing it. Starting your channel, if you want to start YouTube, right? Starting your YouTube channel is going to be a lot harder than just consistently uploading. Once you've figured out what you kind of want to make your videos on, right? It's a lot easier to maintain it when you're in uni. Once you've already started it, then starting it fresh, and you're distracted, girls around, you want to go do whatever, right? But when you're at home, you haven't really got that. I'm not really distracted by that stuff because it's not near me, right? I'm stuck at home doing what I'm building myself up, right? So if you're the type of person that can be disciplined in terms of using your time well, I think you should take a gap year. Personally, I think you should 100% take a gap year because it was the best decision that I've made in my entire life. It's helped me scale my income up, helped me go gym like for an hour and a half a day, follow push pull legs with some calisthenics in there because I do more calisthenics based. But if you watch my last video, I think you'll see it 2 videos ago now, I think, yeah. But yeah, and also I think one thing is that it really gives you time to level up in your self-improvement game because you haven't got the stress of school. If you want to go meditate for an hour, you can. No one's going to stop you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do that. Which I think is quite beautiful, I think that's great. That you have that freedom. And it's the first time in your life ever that you have not got the worry of education. You haven't got to worry about exams. Do you know how nice that is? Like, I feel so fucking blessed that I don't have to worry about that right now. It's great. It's like I can wake up when I want, usually about 7 a.m, and I can spend my time on exactly what I want. I can wake up, then I can trade, then I can record a video for this channel, right? Go gym, come back, go record a main video like in public. I can do that. I have that freedom. And I think that gives you time to really build yourself up. Now, obviously, you have to be careful that you're not wasting that time. And I initially was, like when I started, so I think your gap year really starts when your A-levels end, right? So when your summer starts, that's when it starts. You have about a year and a half. You're about a year and a bit off, like a year and 3 months off. I waited until September to start using my time properly, right? During summer, I was like doing stuff. I was uploading, but I wasn't steadfast on it. I wasn't like super committed. I was doing stuff. Don't get me wrong, but like. It wasn't the level of dedication and focus that I have now. So it really started getting serious in about September, like everything. And then now the progress is starting, like got my first paycheck from Skillshare, like never had that before, like things like that are starting to actually happen. So it just takes a lot of time and dedication. But this isn't shit you guys don't know. You know this stuff. You watch all these videos, you know this, right? That's also an issue that I'm going to make another video about this, but the issue of constantly watching like self-improvement content, especially when you have more free time, you can definitely fall prey to doing that. You can definitely fall prey to being like, okay, I'm going to go watch this video for like half an hour. And it'll be a good video, but a lot of the time, it'll be shit you already know. Like, why are you watching it, bro? You already know this. It's not going to change your life. Like, you already know what they're about to say. You already know what they're about to say in this video. Yet you go watch it and nothing changes. Instead, you get a dopamine hit because you're like, oh, wow, I just did something productive. But in reality, you did nothing. you're feeling accomplished without actually accomplishing anything. Now, that's kind of dangerous. That is quite dangerous, okay? And you may think if you're starting a channel, you're contributing to the problem. Well, you technically are, actually. I probably am contributing to that problem a little bit. I'm getting off topic, right? Coming back to a gap year. In terms of convincing your parents, this is tough, right? So if you got like parents like me who are very adamant on you going university straight away, okay? What I basically did was I came up with all the pros and cons and I put it in a list. I was like, all right, here are all the reasons why it's a good idea for me to take a gap year. And here are all the other reasons why it's a bad idea, right? The pros, okay? The pros is I have time to build up my income, like online, okay? Which I think is a big pro, because when you go uni, you go into 30k debt like that. You know what I'm saying? You just go in straight in. You're already selling yourself of your income later, right? Which I don't really like, right? Ideally, I don't really want to take a loan out. I don't really want to take a loan out, you know what I'm saying? It's not ideal, but I might have to. Well, it depends on my money is. If my money is better, you know, like we're up to like 8, 9, 10k a month, which I think is doable within the next year, 100%. I think within the next 8, 9 months, you know, as the channel keeps growing, as my skill share keeps growing, I'm gonna start offering coaching and stuff. Trading is better. I think 10k a month is definitely possible. And then I wouldn't have to get a loan. So if you're like 18 or if you're like younger than me, right, and you wanna go university still afterwards, which I probably will still go uni. If you can get your income up to like 5, 6k a month online before you go uni, like just by online means, then you don't really have to take a loan out. Because think about it, right? It's gonna be 10k a year, right, in terms of tuition fees. And if you live out, probably another like 5 to 10k, right? So your expenses for the year is going to be around about 20, let's say 20k for the year, right? It's going to cost you, okay? If you're making 5k a month, 5 times 12, 60, you're making 60k, right? And your expenses are 12. It's not ideal, right? It's not ideal. You're still spending quite a lot, right? But you're covered. You're covered quite comfortably, actually, for making 5, 6k a month, which I think is achievable for everybody. Getting the first 1k online is usually the hardest, and then after that it gets easier. But also make sure that whatever you're doing it in is something that's scalable. So my tuition business, for example, it's not that scalable. It's kind of capped like 3k a month. I'm not really going to make more than 3k a month from this business, right? It's definitely a good business to get you started. It makes you money instantly. Like when you start, you make money straight away, like a job almost, right? But at the end of the day, it's not as scalable as like a social media business, like a personal brand. Nowhere near as scalable. Right, so be careful what you put your time into, right? Because it may not yield a result now, but later on, it could yield quite a big result for you. And with a gap year, if you're unsure what kind of business route you want to go down, this is the time to experiment. This is the time to try try a channel, try trading if you want, right? But the thing is, if you try all of them at the same time, and you haven't got like a good structure, you won't make progress in any of them, right? I started my channel before I got into trading properly, so I kind of already figured out the format of how I'm gonna do the videos. I gotta do this. All right, great, I understand, right? Then I'll get into trading more, right? It's finding a balance between the two. Okay, so you got to be careful how you do that. But overall, taking a gap year, if you want to do it, I would suggest you should do it. If you have like a slight tendency that you're like, yeah, I want to give it a try, then you should. And I'm talking about in the context of you're like 18 right now and you could go university, but you're saying, no, I'm going to wait a year, right? You can go traveling. I think there's no harm in doing that. I went to Amsterdam for a month. I worked there. I mean, that was pretty cool. But also, don't blow all your money either, right? Don't blow all your money, because this is the time to really start bringing it up. Like, I know First Man talks about the male advantage, right? And peaking in your, like, 30s. And I think that, I agree with that, right? But your peak in your 30s could be so much higher if you do the right things now than if you do the right things when you start at 22. Your peak will be so much higher. Like, if you start now, like, let's say you're, like, 14 to 17 years old, right? I started when I was about 15, 16, okay, right? In terms of, like, getting my money up and doing self-improvement. If you start now, no matter what you start in, the rewards are going to be exponential. By the time you're like 23, you probably will be at the same stage as somebody who started when they were 23 and then hit their male advantage in 30. You'd probably be at the same level if you did the right things now. Okay, so by the time you're at that stage, you'll be. I think you would have completed the things you set out to. You would have completed the things that you set out to do by then, and then you can just live however you'd like if you want to live a digital nomadic life. Taking a gap year just accelerates the whole thing. It just accelerates it all, because most of you guys don't really want to go university and get a job. Well, go uni, but like not just get a job for your whole life, all right? And uni is not going to teach you the skills to get that, right? It probably is not. A lot of it you can just find online and you can just start. So why are you waiting? So if you're under 18, take a gap year, in my opinion. Make sure you use your time well, right? Don't sit on your phone watching anime and shit, which is what I was doing for the first month. I was just binge watching My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer and all this shit. Nothing wrong with it, but you just don't want to overdo it. I still watch one episode a week with my brother, and that's about it, right? I basically cut it out, right? It's just about finding how you want to use your time. So if you can get the discipline to learn how you want to use your time, then you should be alright. And you can make a lot of progress in your gap year. So that's all I got to say. Talk to your parents about it, see what they say. Do the pros and cons argument. The main downside is that if you do nothing with it, you wasted a year. But you're not going to do that because you're watching this video, right? If you're someone who's on my channel, you're not someone who's prone to wasting your time like a fucking idiot, right? That's not what my audience is. That's not who my audience are. I know that, right? You're probably not like that. There's a high chance you're not like that. If you are, then you're in the right place, because now you can start fixing that shit, okay? But as long as you use your time well, right? The pros is that you can build yourself up so much and you only lose a year. And a year right now, used well, is going to give you such high gains for the rest of your life. And it's only March right now. March, April, May, June, July, August. I still got a good 8 months. I still got ages, right? And I'm just going to keep going this year. And you guys can see where I'm at by the end of this academic year. So I'll be going uni in October, end of September. Let's see where I'm at in September, October. Let's see where the channel's at. Let's see where my money's at, right? Let's see where my physique is at, right? I'm going to make a physique video because you guys don't really know what I look like in terms of my physique. So I'll make a good... You'll see. I'll make that in about a couple months. I'm doing a shred video because I've been bulking for how long? 6-7 months now. I'm at I started about 67 kg and now I'm about 76. So I'm trying to get to 80 and then I'm going to do a nice cut. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Went on a bit of a tangent in some places, but it's just me being raw and unfiltered, you know what I'm saying? I just spit. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.